Welcome to the Be the Exception educational series.
You know, my home here in San Diego is just a stone's throw from the famous Del Mar racetrack. It's got that classic tagline, where the turf meets the surf. A little while back, a friend of mine took me to meet the owner of a prized racehorse, and I gotta tell you, what I learned that day was absolutely mind-blowing.
All right, let's get into this, because the way this animal was cared for, it was just on another level entirely. It was like a masterclass in peak performance. So the owner, he walks me through the whole shebang. He'd turned the horse's nutrition into a literal science. Every single thing it ate was precisely calculated for energy, digestion, even its dental health. The horse had the best vets checking on it every single week. It was on a super strict twice-a-day exercise schedule. They even managed its social calendar with other horses to keep its morale high. It was just incredible to see.
So the main takeaway here, right, is that the owner's entire philosophy was about constant, obsessive attention to detail. He knew that for this horse to perform at its absolute best, it had to be more than just healthy. It had to be happy. I was so impressed with his discipline and his depth of knowledge.
I was completely sold. I thought, this guy is a genius, he's so attentive, and I held that opinion right up until the exact moment that completely shattered that whole image.
The trainer walks in, and he's holding one of those familiar-looking paper bags, and yeah, this is where the story takes a really sharp turn.
Okay, picture this. On one side, you've got the horse, with its perfectly engineered, scientific diet. And on the other side, the owner's lunch. It was McDonald's. Hamburgers, fries, a giant soda, the works. Now, I'd already kind of noticed he wasn't exactly a marathon runner, but this just confirmed it. So I had to ask him, right? I said, when was the last time you had a checkup? And his answer? He hadn't seen a doctor in years. It's totally insane, isn't it? I mean, think about it. Here's a guy with what you could call a billion-dollar body. I mean, it's priceless to his family and friends, and yet he was putting so much more thought and meticulous care into his horse's health than his own.
And here's the real kicker. As crazy as that story sounds, he is not some bizarre exception. This is a blind spot that, honestly, so many of us have. We see it playing out in different ways all the time.
Now, that might sound extreme, but just think about it for a second in a different context. We see this all over the place. People will obsess over getting organic, grain-free food for their dog, but then not think twice about their own kids munching on sugary cereals and processed junk food.
This illustrates the point perfectly. I was at a friend's house just the other day and saw this exact scenario play out. Their little girl goes to give the family dog a bite of her donut. The mom from across the room yells, "No, don't feed him that. It's not good for him." And then, just silence. She quietly watched her own daughter finish the very same donut that she had just declared was too unhealthy for the dog.
So all of this brings us to a really, really important conclusion. We have got to start reevaluating our priorities and maybe even create a personal health philosophy from scratch.
Let's just let that one sink in for a second. Because at the end of the day, what good are all the accomplishments, the fancy cars or that huge house, if you're not even around to enjoy any of it? Your health is, without a doubt, your greatest asset.
So here is the challenge for you. If you don't already have a personal philosophy that intentionally includes healthy eating, regular exercise, and positive social connections, then it's time to create one, starting today.
Okay, let's boil all of this down into a simple, direct takeaway that you can start using like right now.
Here it is, 2 simple rules to live by. Number 1, treat yourself like that prized racehorse. Give your body the high-quality fuel, the regular maintenance, and the focused care that it deserves. And number 2, a rule so simple it's brilliant. If you wouldn't put it in your dog's bowl, then don't put it in your own mouth, or your kids' mouths for that matter.
So, I'll just leave you with this to think about. What are you actively doing to keep yourself, well, as healthy as a horse? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments.
Now, before we go, let's talk about what's coming up in our next explainer. We're going to be tackling a huge and maybe controversial topic in the world of self-improvement, the so-called power of positive thinking.
You know, there's this really popular idea out there that if you just think happy thoughts, then happy things will magically happen for you. Well, we're going to explore the argument that this is, and I'm quoting here, horse pocky and a lie, and that it might actually be holding you back from real growth.
That's right. Next time, we are going to take a sledgehammer to the modern myth of the positive mental attitude and look at why it could be doing a lot more harm than good. You're going to find out why confronting the brutal, honest truth of your situation, no matter how uncomfortable it is the only real starting point for meaningful change. It's about taking action, not just chanting affirmations. Trust me, you are not going to want to miss it.